Manga community, please let us not be like this commenter was on this Haikyuu post. Please, let's not be like this, guys. We are greater than this. Let's not do this. Let's not be this. Hello friends, Laura A. Grace here. I am so excited that you're here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I am nervously excited for today's video because it is like how my other video is that I did about should Christians read manga, where it was completely unplanned. It was like an idea that struck at a random moment, except for today's video's idea. It struck really late at night and I had a hard time sleeping because all I could think about was all the things I wanted to say today. And then I woke up and I was like, I forgot half of the things that I wanted to say. So I am hoping that just everything goes smoothly with this vlog because this has been on my mind for a little bit. In fact, I think just a few days ago, I ranted to a good friend of mine of how much the term mid really upsets me, like significantly. I have seen the word mid thrown around on Instagram. I've seen a little bit on YouTube, or well, MangaTube, I should say. And I was like, what is this whole mid manga thing? Why are we calling manga mid? And so I looked it up, and basically you're saying that the manga is okay, but you're taking it a step further and you're basically dissing this manga. You're sort of insulting it. This story saying that's not nothing exciting. It's supposed to be more of an insulting way, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it one bit. And there's a few different reasons for that, but I find that this trend, I guess, which should not be a trend in my opinion, but this trend is fascinating because being a manga reader right now, it is the best time. It is so exciting. We are seeing droves of people be introduced to manga, maybe through anime, through friends, through different means, and they are coming in and they are so excited to be in this manga world, this world we know that is absolutely incredible, because otherwise we wouldn't be reading manga. We know there's something special about it, and so these people are coming in and they're so excited. And because we're getting more manga readers into the community, the publishers are like, I see you guys, we are going to print and publish more manga. Yes, there's definitely manga shortages, there's issues with printing and publishing in general, but I'm saying that they're picking up more titles to print in English. It is so exciting. It is so awesome. I mean, I feel like we're seeing so many different publishers deliver manga that people are really wanting. Granted, there's always that manga. I mean, I don't know much about untranslated works because I don't read scans, but there's always going to be that one manga that you're like, nobody's picking this up. But as a whole, we are seeing just so much manga enter into the manga community. So why does it feel like we are having a mid-manga crisis in the manga community, where I'm seeing an increase of people saying this manga is just mid, this manga is just mid? I'm not saying that people don't have a right to their opinion, because they do, and this video is obviously my opinion and I just wanted to share my thoughts on the situation, but it is discouraging in my opinion, because with these new droves of manga readers coming in, they're getting excited about, say, these anime like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, anime that are super popular right now. So like, I'm gonna go start the manga, because that's what we do, right? When we watch an anime and we love it, we're like, I need the original content. So they get this original content and they're like, world, listen to me, listen to how much I love this manga. And then somebody comes in, they're like, dude, this is just mid. Dude, you just wrecked their excitement. You crashed down on their excitement. Not you, the viewer. I'm just saying this random person that I was using as an example. There's so much there. Like, no, we do not want to do this, because here is the thing. Here's the thing. This is why I have an issue with people calling manga mid, because let's take Sailor Moon for an example. And this is just an example, okay, guys? But let's say we have a random reader, we'll call her Jane. Jane has been introduced to Sailor Moon. She reads it, she loves it. It has been an emotional journey for her. It has changed her life. It has helped her to see that loving others truly has genuine power and can change the world, even if it's just her world and her life. She has been just totally almost transformed by this manga. And so she goes out onto Instagram or YouTube or to other social media platforms and she says, world, listen to this. I love Sailor Moon. Here is my Sailor Moon collection. We'll say Jennifer. Jennifer comes on the scene and Jennifer's like, Jane, Really? Sailor Moon? Sailor Moon is such a mid manga. It sucks. It stinks. Why in the world would you say Sailor Moon is so great when it's not? So, this is what I'm going to tell you, Jane. You need to get rid of your Sailor Moon collection and you need to read Magic Knight Ray Earth for XYZ reasons because it's just so much better. Let's stop there for a second. Let's all take a breather, especially if you're a Sailor Moon fan. I am not bashing Sailor Moon, but let's break down this scenario that I just gave. Okay? We have Jane. Jane has shared her excitement. She has shared her love. She is bearing a small part of her heart, giving it to the social media world. And Jennifer, she came in and she said it was mid. She said it sucked. She basically insulted Jane. And from that point on, if we are Jane, Jane is not going to listen to anything Jennifer just said. It doesn't matter if her XYZ reasons were every single thing that Jane loves in manga or the magical girl genre. It wouldn't matter because all in Jane's mind, all she's going to think is how Jennifer just insulted me. Jennifer just insulted the manga that has transformed my life. It has become something bigger because Sailor Moon is just a manga, yes, but Sailor Moon for Jane was transforming for her. So suddenly it's like her association, her value on Sailor Moon or of Sailor Moon was unimportant. Suddenly it was just mid. So no longer is Jennifer insulting or saying Sailor Moon is mid. It has become personal for Jane. Jane is now feeling she is mid, that she is insulted. And it becomes so much bigger. And that is the issue I have when we say that manga is mid. Okay, but let's continue to take a little bit of a break here because I feel like, man, using Sailor Moon as an example was like, whew, pretty big. But I mean, that can be applied to any manga. And I will just say that Sailor Moon was very transforming for me as a kid. It was the gateway to anime. I didn't know that's what anime was, but Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z will forever be a part of me and just how special they are. I have not finished reading Sailor Moon, but still, I love Sailor Moon growing up. So if I was in Jane's shoes, heck yeah, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to be able to focus on anything Jennifer said about Magic Knight Ray Earth. And why would I? Why would we when we have been insulted? And yes, again, it's just manga, but that manga has personal meaning and value to us as a person where we then feel attacked. We feel insulted and we're not going to be able to hear what the other person is saying. I feel like the interesting thing of saying it's mid is that that's happening to these new manga readers, or that's happening to older manga readers. It's unfair because if somebody were to call Haikyuu mid, now I will just say right now, if you come at me and you say Haikyuu's mid, that's fine. You have a right to say that, but I disagree, and I'm going to be on that hill forever, okay? Because Haikyuu is not mid. It is top tier. It is the best manga out there. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest because I was like, I love Haikyuu, and Haikyuu's not mid. Anyway, ramble aside, I sort of lost my train of thought in that excitement of making sure people knew that I love Haikyuu. It's not mid in my opinion, and that my opinion will not be swayed there. But what I was trying to say is that it's like suddenly if somebody were to call Haikyuu mid, for an example, and insult it, it's like you're saying how Haikyuu transformed my life, and I have a video of how Haikyuu has impacted me and why it's my all-time favorite manga. It's like suddenly that value I have for Haikyuu is meaningless. Because you're saying it's mid, or that person is saying it's mid. And that is not true, okay? Regardless if anybody ever says that a manga is mid-tier for their personal reasons, that, for the other person, I will say right now, that does not make that manga any less impactful, any less meaningful of what it means to you as a person. I have seen a lot of people saying that Komi Can't Communicate is mid-tier. But the thing is I think of the other people who have said, Komi Can't Communicate has been so moving for me, and it's been very empowering seeing a main character that has that social anxiety that I can relate to. They're seeing themselves on page. But other people are saying it's that it's mid. That's not important, that they're just bashing this manga more or less, rather than just saying, you know what? I'm glad Komi Can't Communicate has touched you. I'm glad that Sailor Moon has touched you, but those series aren't for me. Why can't we say those things? Why can't we say in this beautiful and incredible time of manga growing and getting more manga that we just say, this manga isn't necessarily mid. It just wasn't it wasn't right for me. I recently read Cuba Won't Let Me Be Invisible. I believe that's the name of that title. That manga was not necessarily for me in the way I hoped, but I would not come out and say that manga is mid. I mean, that just wouldn't personally cross my mind because I'm like, I just didn't connect with this story the same way I feel other readers were. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when that term mid gets thrown out there, it changes the context. It's more than just it's okay. It becomes, I feel like, a personal attack to other people. And maybe people are watching this video saying, Laura, you're just taking this too far. But again, think about your experience when you first came into manga. And I'm not saying with other people, I'm saying you as a person. I mean, it's like you are a manga character, you know what I mean? You enter into manga, you enter into anime, and it just blows you away. I mean, your hair goes back, has that special effects. You guys know what I'm talking about, I hope. And you have that moment. And in that moment, you're like, my life is changed. It is changed. And you know it is for the better. You know that this is going to be something that sticks with you, regardless if you stay with manga or you leave manga. You know in your life, you will look back and you will say, man, manga impacted me. Why would we not want other people to experience that? Because we know the power of manga. We've seen manga touch our lives. It doesn't matter what manga you read, or I feel personally, whether it's mid or not for you, that it still touches you in some way. Maybe you could say, well, this manga was forgettable. I'm not going to remember this. That could be very true. But there's going to be a moment that you will think of something from that manga and be like, man, I remember that, and it could be a key moment in just your life at that moment. I remember when I read the manga Dive, which I do have a video review on this channel. I loved Dive. I read Dive at a very pivotal moment in my life where I was deeply struggling with friendships. I mean, it was, well, a friendship specifically, and I was struggling, and I read Dive, and it honestly was so comforting. I cried reading that manga. The main character's journey, his story, and his growth deeply moved me. I felt so encouraged by his journey that I too could have the same experience that he did. I can't go more into depth because the ending is a huge spoiler and it's my favorite part of the series. But I remember being on Instagram and somebody said, I read the first volume of Dive. It's not worth your time. It's just typical shonen stuff. It's not that good. And I was so hurt because here Dive really encouraged me at a time in my life again where I needed it. And I cried at the end because I just felt there was hope for me personally. That person didn't say the word mid or anything like that, but that was just an example I wanted to give that tons of manga readers, every single manga reader, has those similar experiences, and that we should just be so mindful that when we throw that word mid out there, you know, you're not insulting just this manga. You're insulting the people behind the manga, and maybe insulting is not the right word to use in this situation. But I just wanted to film this video because I really wanted people to know, like, there's so much more to that manga for that person than it is for you, and that's okay. I mean, it is discouraging that when we buy manga and we're like, this did not resonate with me. This was not what I thought it would be. It is discouraging, and it can be angering for ourselves because we're like, we just spent, say, $10 to $15, sometimes more, on this manga that we didn't connect with. And rather than just, again, saying, I didn't connect with this wasn't for me, we say this is mid. There's nothing exciting for this. It's not too good and it's not too bad. It's just mid. But again, we need to think of the person, of the other person. Again, you could say your opinions, but let's say our opinions with kindness, because we all, at least I hope for every single person in the manga community, you should want other people to join the manga community and experience the beauty of it, the joy of reading manga. Like every single manga person, reading person should want that. And if you don't, I really feel that you should think about why you don't want other people to read manga. Because manga is universal. It's not just something in the United States. It's not just something in Japan or in Europe. Japan has blessed the whole entire world with their storytelling, with manga and anime, for us all to be gifted with this special gift. And we should want to continue to share that. Because just imagine a world without manga and anime, without your favorite manga, without your favorite anime. Because Japan decided we don't want to share it with the world. We don't want them to experience this. We want to hog it for ourselves. Doesn't that sound heartbreaking? Like, I can't even imagine that, to be honest. Like, I want those manga and I want other people to experience it. That is why I talk about haiku all the time on this channel. In fact, I was telling my husband the other day that I know a friend that doesn't talk about their favorite manga often because they don't want their viewers to get bored. Look, I'm sorry. If you don't like haiku, that's fine. But this is my channel and I'm going to talk about haiku all the time because haiku means so much to me and I love it so much. I want to naturally share that with others and hope that my love and excitement for haiku rubs off on other people and they're like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I mean, isn't that part of MangaTube? Isn't that part of Mangagram? grams, however you would say that. I mean, isn't that why we share our manga? I mean, yes, for some people, maybe they want to share their opinions, their thoughts, not just positive thoughts, but maybe of like, okay, I want to get critical about this. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I mean, you're still wanting to share your thoughts and opinions. You're still wanting to influence other people to pick up this manga. And that is awesome. I mean, we live in such a time where, I mean, social media has its issues, sure, for every person, but we have the power and the capability to share that. We can go forth and we can talk to people all over the world and tell them, hey, this is why I think you should read this manga. And we want them to experience that same joy we do. But the word mid cancels that out. It cancels out that joy. That as soon as we use that term mid and we share it publicly, it becomes so much more greater, something so much more negative, the opposite of what our goal as a manga community should be for other people. We don't need to be in this mid manga crisis. And if we're finding manga that's just not fitting with us, then we go and do what the manga community hopes, at least I hope so, wants to do. We share manga recommendations. We share manga that we think that you personally will like. I was recently talking with Jacob from Meet the Weave family, and I believe it's linked to their channel here or down below. And it was so great because I had asked for recommendations and he gave me the recommendation of Something's Wrong with Us. And we had such a great conversation. And do you know one of the things he told me? He says, Laura, why would I give you a recommendation of a manga that I think you would hate? And he's so right. Why, as a manga community, will we ever give a recommendation of something we hate, something that we may consider mid? Again, that's not saying that you can't go and say, well, again, like I've been saying, I know I've said it more than once, and I'm probably beating a dead horse, but, you know, I just don't want anybody to feel like I'm saying you can't share your opinions, positive or negative. I just want, hopefully, the point of this video was just to share that the term mid should not be a word that we throw around so carelessly in the manga community. Because when you're on social media, you are being watched. You're being watched by your followers, and they're seeing what you do. They're seeing what you recommend. So let's recommend things that maybe we don't know if they will love, but that we love. Things that we know that if a manga reader were to happen to come across that they see, man, there's something really exciting about this manga. And again, if it's not for us, at least they will see if they picked it up and they loved and adored it, that we're not bashing them. That we're not saying or insulting them and saying that you can't read this. Like, dude, this sucks. There's so much more better manga out there. There will always be better manga out there because there's always new manga releasing. And that's also a matter of opinion and our own perspective if we think that manga is better than other manga. Yes, I will say that I love Magic Knight Rayearth. This has resonated more with me than Sailor Moon has. But would I ever go and say for real that Sailor Moon, and outside of an example, that Sailor Moon is mid? That it sucks as a magical girl manga? No! That is foolishness for me to ever say, because I know how impactful that was for me as a kid and how impactful it is still today for many readers. And if I want people to read Magic Knight Rayearth, me saying that it's mid and me saying it sucks and upsetting that person is not the way for me to get them to read and pick up Magic Knight Rayearth. No, because if I was them, I wouldn't pick it up either. And I'm sure we've all come across that time. Like, I was talking to a different friend recently as well. They kept pressuring them to read a certain manga, but they were doing it in such an insulting and degrading way where they're like, you shouldn't be reading that. You shouldn't be reading that because of XYZ reasons. But she's like, you know, I didn't watch it for years because I was so tired of this person being rude about it. And we're all like that because we're all human. And I feel like that is a natural first reaction, that if somebody is, you know, being rude to you and insulting you, you're not going to hear anything else you're going to want to say. You're going to want to make sure that your point gets across. I feel like that's a natural reaction. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And just in a nutshell, if I could say anything, this is a time of blessing, of such excitement for the manga community. We're having not just so many new manga titles published and printed, but more manga readers are coming in. I mean, truly, it is an exciting and joyful time just seeing so much love and excitement for manga as a whole. But please, all of us as a manga community, let us be mindful, not just of these newcomers coming in, but of one another, that these manga that we love and just adore and treasure, that they have special meaning behind that cover. Maybe that series didn't resonate with us, but rather than saying that's just a mid-series, Lara, It doesn't have any value. Don't get close to that series or think it's something better than it is because it's just mid. No. Let's cancel that. Let's be done with that manga community. Instead, let us lift each other up in kindness and in love and say, you know, the series really didn't resonate with me the same way. My camera totally just fell down and totally just ruined the moment right there. But as I was trying to say, again, that let's lift each other up in love and in kindness. Share your opinion, share your thoughts, but let's do it kindly and thinking of the other person too, not just ourselves first. Because again, maybe that series didn't resonate with us, and let's share that. Let's say, you know, Laura, that series really didn't resonate with me the same way it resonated with you, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you have found a manga that has spoken to you. Now, here are some manga titles that I think that go along with that manga or similar to that in vibes, genre, characters that I think could also resonate with you because they resonate with me, and here's why they did. Isn't that so much more powerful? There's no insulting. There's no hurting of feelings. There's a genuine listening to the other person and them listening to you because you're coming from a place of kindness. You're coming to it from a place of you're genuinely wanting to hear what they have to say. And because you're genuinely listening to them, they're going to genuinely listen to you in return. At least they should. We'll say 9 times out of 10, there's always that person that does not want to listen, regardless of what you say, whether good or bad. But stand strong. And if you know there are other readers of that series and you're like, I'm just discouraged seeing that so many people are calling this manga mid, go find your people who love that series. And you know, sometimes you just got to get things off your chest, but rant to them in private. Don't go on social media and say every person who likes this very mid manga is just not cool. They stink and they should be reading this instead. No, don't do that because you're not going to have everybody listening to what you're trying to say. And you're just trying to say that you love this other manga, right? And that you just want other people to experience that love and excitement and how it changed you, right? We want other people to know. So let's say it with kindness. Again, voice your opinion, voice your thoughts. There's many people who want to hear what you have to say, but we could say it in a loving way, not in a way that makes the other person feel lesser than because they like that. Because again, remember, every manga impacts every single person. Sometimes it's a great and fierce and powerful impact. And we don't want to say to them by calling that manga mid that you shouldn't be impacted that way. How can we determine as people what will and won't affect us, that will and won't impact us? No, we don't want to insult that person being impacted, especially if we were to find out their story and we're like, gee, I feel really awkward now. I feel really uncomfortable that I bashed that manga in such a rude way rather than just saying it was an okay read for me. And like I said, we all have those reads. So again, let's cancel that term mid. Let's cancel it as a community and rise above that and show the world that there is something different about the manga community, because there is. I've been part of the book community. I've been part of other communities, and we have something special here, guys. We have something here special, and let's keep that specialness and let's invite other people in. Let us rise up and say, yo, we see you guys. Don't be like that person that commented on that Tonica picture and like it's just a drawing. Like, dude, nobody's got time for that. Nobody wants that. Like, you're in a Haikyuu fan group and you're saying that mess. I mean, yes, it is just a drawing, but a very impactful and meaningful drawing that just has changed our lives for the better. So let's go out there and share the love of manga in such kind ways. And I just appreciate you so much for watching and listening to all my rambles here. I hope that they resonate with you as a manga reader, or if you're not a manga reader. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's all keep it kind and respectful, please. And I just genuinely appreciate you watching. And if you enjoyed this video and what I shared, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and please consider sharing this video with a friend so that all of us can just be an encouraging and loving manga readers that genuinely listen to other people. Because even if we're not always voicing maybe positive things on our accounts, that we're not being degrading manga readers and we're not pushing people down just so we can rise up and boast about what we feel are better manga. Because all of manga, regardless of the genre, is awesome. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!